page Kufnun Hey. Let's start at the top of the right column so that we can get a little flow into number Mem is where we stopped at that note over there. So actually let's just read this little the little bit of the Sifra Ditzniut at the top. It said Bakula Itbe Yaakov. So everything is said in Yaakov. So everything that's to be said could be incorporated in Yaakov. Kula Kalula Belishan Sasim Ne'ima. Everything is incorporated with this tongue concept that's hidden for Ima. Decha is patchas le, because it opens up for him. V'nafek mino, and then it comes out from her. So that's a little vague. So now we try to understand it better. So the Pirush says v'kula itmach b'Yaakov v'chakol ne'emba b'shlosh osias yud kei vav shel shem avaya, the first three letters. Ki tipas shisha kitzvos, because the drop or the kernel of seed of the six kitzvos shel zer anpin, hu besod oz vav shel shem havaya. It is really in the secret of the letter vav of the name Havaya. And then you need, of course, the first two letters, which are shem shtei osius yud and k. You need a yichud there, shel shem havaya kanal, etc., etc. What does that mean? Everything is incorporated there. Everything for this seed or kernel that of the drop, etc. Because shlosh osius Yaakov elu nechlalim betipas zer anpin. That's where we're at right now. These three letters are all incorporated in the drop, which is going to go to zer anpin. Let's see what I got to do here. Okay, here it is. Oh, let me pull it forward. That'll be a lot better. Okay, he says, right. So we see this in many places. The zer anpin levad hu besod Yaakov. It's only zer anpin. In other words, zer anpin is the secret of these three letters. So he says you can see this in the Zohar. He said, "V'zal l'shana begin to kudshach berichu." That is zer anpin. Ben Yak. He's the son of Abba v'Ima. Vav ben Yud and K. It's the Vav that's in between the Yud and K. Okay, it's a product. I think is what he means. The child of Yud and K. Khalil Yaakov, and within it, that is zer anpin, you have these three letters. Delay hey. So it's completion that it would be to add the letter hey onto it. But zer anpin is these three. Ad kan. B'chein rei b'zohar, also look in the Zohar for the language that they have over there. B'zel d'shanu Yaakov da d'chura. So this word Yaakov is masculine. Ad kan. Now what is that? Because it's zer anpin. B'chein rei be'etz chaim, also over there. B'zel d'shanu b'toch devarov. It says zer anpin hu Yesod Yaakov. So zer anpin is the place of the flow of the rivers, let's say, of the name Yud K and Vav. Shehem Chachma B'bin Shalo is Yak, V'Raguf Teferes, and then the body, which of course is Teferes Shalo, Hu Vav is the letter Vav. Hare Kan Zer Anpin is the Yaakov. He said V'Achar Kach Amalchus Nemshechas Miksei HaTeferes. So from the end of Teferes is developed this malchus. So let me see, miksei hatfer shalo, shuhu benai shalo, which corresponds to the area of his nai. That's where she develops. V'sham hu sod he achrona shebeshem. That's therefore you see that this is the secret of the final letter of the name of Hashem. So he said adkan. B'ayin sham v'chein hu b'mav sharim. We have those over this ayin sham. So this is kavonos of brachos. So this is Ein Sham. Bir kan be'bir agrua le'el. So up above we saw this. Now we're going to quote the Gra. He says, "Kula kalula belishon." That phrase, Shekulich nichlalim bo. That is, that I guess he means that Abba ve'ima are nichlalim in the vav shehu vav shal Hashem yudke vavke. She yudke nichlalim bo. So that's, again, once the idea is that his genetic composition is really this yud k are incorporated into this letter vav. Shulchan zer anpin nikra Yaakov kiyudua, because what he actually is the vav that has a yud k inside of it. V'hu yaris achsanta the Abba ve'ima, so the inheritance of Abba ve'ima, in other words, it pours into him. Kamosha Abba be'id rezuta. It gives a Sifra reference. The high Ben Nalter Simonda de Aboy Ve'ima, he takes the, I guess he means the DNA, his Simona, he used the word Simona, the signs of his father and his mother, Ve'ikre Das. So he says, and it's also called Das. The Hu Sahadusa to Darvaihu, because it testifies to both of them. I guess that's the idea of Das, which is the funnel. So he says that in this sounds like a little difference in the chamber of the skull, there are 3 different lights that shine. Okay, apparently that's an Indian over there, or something you could do. Let's go to after number mem, and it goes Belishan. Belishan shebetoch Yesod Abba hanikra lashon. So specifically, this word lishon really refers to the Yesod of Abba, who is called a tongue. So he says, what does that mean? We have a little mem aleph on this, and it says Rei b'ha'ara hababa b'shem ha'mefarshim. So we're going to see something on this later on. Rei b'ha'aras the ale. So look over there. He says al pi azoar. He said the kol kav soy nikra lashon, the whole line. Now that's what I really thought. So he specifically said it refers to the Yesod of Abba. So he said, but now he says that the kol kav soy, also the same idea is that I'll wait for a second. I was thinking I should put in the sponsor of our show. It's Hashem Yisbarach. Likes to hear that the Malachim are all listening. Okay, here we go. Coming back again. Let me see, speaker. There we go. So he says, so here now he comes, he says, Rebbe Haris the Ale al Piazoar, he says, the kol kavim soy nikra lashon, that like the tongue goes back down into your throat, and it continues on down the middle line. Hakol das teferis and Yesod, which is dati. Kihu b'chinas lashon hameshgal. This is the concept of the balance, the I guess the rod in the middle of the balance scale. Hamachriya be'emsa, that does a balancing act between the right line and the left line. That's this. The origin is you're talking about the tongue. V'amnam lashon ha'elyon sheyesh b'chinas lishon bilvad. So he says the upper tongue. It's not clear what the upper tongue means, but I'm assuming he means, let's say, of Eric Anpen. So he said lashon elyon sheyesh b'chinas lishon bilvad. It is just the concept of tongue. The Rei b'ha'aras the el sham. So there are other things we've already said about this, and that's just the little bit. So we got here. Number mem base after number mem alis, it says the phrase was belishan sasim le'ima hasaisim pesach yesod ima. So he says that here, that's the reason I guess he says that it refers to the Yesod of Abba, because what force, or let's say what it is, it closes up the womb of Ima. Who is that? What is that? That would be the Yesod of Abba. So here we are in number mem bet. And number mem bet says, he says, Rei b'ferish Talmud, Shabir Khan explaining over his Elishan saucing the Ima. Now that particular is a little clumsy, the words, the tongue that's closed up for Ima. Now previously he said if that refers to the Yesod of Abba, that could make some sense like that. Let's see what he says now. So Ritzon Aloma used to be Yesod Abba. That's talking about the Anistam Toch Bina, which is closed up seals up inside of Ima, Kanal, Adkan. So describing this, it's important for us to know that he means it's clothed within Ima and closes her up. But some of the Mekomos Shabir La'elag explained the Fi Darko, B'zel Shana B'delog, Lishan Dos Sasim. So this tongue we're talking about is closed. Now we've had this. Okay, but B'Shas HaZivug Yesod Sasim Benukva Adkan. So that's what he wants to say. He's describing it at the time of Yichud. Then the Yesod of the male is closing up the opening of the female. Ayin Sham. V'chein Rei B'Hadras Melech. So also look over there. Shabir Khan that explains over here. V'Zel Shona B'Sok Devarov. Spheros Dezah. Let's talk about that. Hay b'chochma. So let's say that what is going to develop, I think that's what he means, into Zeranpin, is found in chochma. The nasdach of bebina, and then that seed, that's going back to the concept of the seed or the tipa. V'nasdach of bebina bezivug imad derek yisodo. So how is it exactly? It is that the yisod is what we're focusing on here, which is the place that closes up. That's what he means by that. Yesod Abba Hasoisim Pischa Shal Ima, who closes up the opening into Ima Bezivug Ima, making a yichud with her. Adkan. And Sham V'chein B'rei B'bir Agra. So also we have the beer of the Gra. Adkan. He says Shabir B'zel Lashona B'tok Devar, and this is what he says. Lishan Sasin the Ima Shuhu Yesod the Dechura, that is of the Dechura, that is Yesod of Abba. The Ayal B'Nukva that enters into the Nukva B'Sas and Yesod Didor Ad Kan Ayin Sham, and it closes up her Yesod. Okay, so that was number Mem Bet. Let's go from number Mem Bet and read down to Mem Gimel. So for Mem Bet it says V'oz Nitna tipas zer anpin b'mei ima b'so the ivor. So that's the concept here we've been describing. The ha is patchas alay, because she opens up for him. Ki ima niftachas the yesod abba, or she opens up for the yesod of Abba. Hanikra mafteach, who's called a key. Sheposeach as yesod ima, that he has the ability to open up the yesod of ima b'serach v'peterechem, which is the concept of the first opening of the womb. But no, so the repetipas. Well, we got another interruption here. So Rabbi Memran always used to say that we must be getting to something really important when we have these interruptions. So it'll give us a chance for Hashem to enlighten our eyes to be able to see what's going on next. Oh. Okay, we got you back again. So he says, Shabbateach as Yesod Ima, that this key, which represents the Yesod of Abba, opens up the Yesod of Ima, Besod Paterechem. We said that before. V'nosa non tipus sheish kitzvos, and so therefore the tip of sheish kitzvos, which is going to be Zer Anpin, is placed inside of her Yesod. So thus, sheish kitzvos shall Zer Anpin, Besod the Yichud. The nafik binah kadei sheyatz zer anpin, that comes out from her. So let me get it bisman. The nafik binah, that he comes out from her. Kadei sheyatz zer anpin, so that zer anpin should be able to come out and be born. So let's see a little bit more. On this says like this, number Mem Gimel is of Reba Hadras Melech Shabir Khan Vazel Lashona, and the Hadras Melech explains like this. The ha is patchalei. This is the reason why she's called the opening of the womb, or the first opening. So we're getting the same idea. This is the Hadras Melech now. Is mafteach al shem sheposech v'soger, but it has the ability to do both. It opens up and it closes. In other words, it opens up, enters in, and then it's closed. Is patcha ima le. She opens up. That is, ima opens up for him, and for what? For the Yesod of Abba. Yesod Abba. So why does the Yesod of Abba go in? Hatam de Nafik Bina, because in order to bring out from her Ben Hanoim, this beautiful child, which is called Zeranpin. Kihu Nasan also Allah Bezivug Imak Amor. Let's see if we're really getting short on time, but let's do the last one and we'll be done, and we'll be out to Ha'aros the next time. So after number Mem Gimel, where he said the Navik Mina, that was Zeranpin, number Mem Gimel says Bizman Holeda Bebechinas, parts of Shalom, that at the time he comes out a complete parts of. In other words, the concept of the three lines. La'achar Tikun B'mei Ima B'so the Iver, and then he gestates and becomes the three lines in the womb of Ima. Now let's see how we can get this going. Here we go. Number Mem Dalet. Kamavur Re'ini B'divir Arizal B'kam B'makomos. Rebbe Eitz Chaim, he gives us there. He said B'dilog. He says Atam Lama Chutzukah Zer V'nukva Lihis Aver B'mei the Ima. So why did they have to go through an embryonic stage in the womb of Ima? Notice he says Zer V'nukva, because whenever you say Zer, he always has a nukva, at least at this stage right here, he always has a nukva associated with him. So before Atzilus came out, all the Spheros, which are called Nikudim, they came out separated one from the other in a line. One down below the next. And then, of course, they would get his direct flow from what's up above it into whatever was above. But not one of them, not one of the Nikudim, had the concept of Partsuf, which is the concept of the three lines working together. But now, the place we're at now is that we have the time of the Tikkun, of the Zayin Tachtonis, of the Zat of Zeranpin. So, Rotza Amatza Le'elyon, as Hashem Yisbarach wanted, L'saknam, and now to build them, to bring them out, and to make them more definite. So he says, of Lihistakim, Elaim came Yischad Rocha Yakod, Kol Chazayin Kitzvos, Zu, Besod, Partsuf, Echod, Mukusharm, Zebazeh. So I didn't, maybe Elaim came, so he says, V'i Efsher, that's I was missing something. You couldn't make a yichud unless you can join them together. The six kitzkes, V'zu, Besod, parts of, unless you could make the three lines work then. Echad, parts of Echad, Mukusharm, Zebazeh, where all the three lines really work together. And then this would make it back into a personal flow. Shuhu parts of Echad Kolo Anikra Zer Anpen, and so this is a total incorporated parts of now three lines, which is called Zer Anpen. V'amnam Kadesh Yizkashrach v'Yizchav Yachad, in order to be able to tie them, to bind them together. Okay, another little interruption here. May Hashem be blessed, and let us hopefully get it back in here soon. Here we go. All right, onto the speaker, and let's go. So Amnam, Kadeshi is Kashrach of Yischav Yachad Sark La'aloso Lahaknisa B'mei De'ima. You had to elevate it, and you had to cause it to go on. La'alosam, to enter in Lahaknisam B'mei De'ima. They have to go there. That's the only place where you can make the three lines. V'sham B'sod Yimei Ha'Iver, so all during the time of gestation. Yis'achtav Yiskashrav Yischavro Yachad Yichud Gomor, so that you will say that the lines will come in complete oneness. V'yatza Achakach, and then after that comes out from there, Bizman Aleda, the Bechinas parts of Echad, and that's the concept that it will come out to be one parts of, instead of like a string of spheros, Miyuchad B'kol Pratav, which is specific, has all the different parts. Ayin Sham. Today is the 9th of Sivan. Okay, we'll stop there, and let's go to the next piece. We still have a little